Afghanistan is a part of Golden Crescent, which promotes a lot of drug trade across, in the northwestern states of India, and its ground can be used for terrorism purpose. So my take on this is, in this particular situation, we have to recognize Taliban, because Taliban government is inevitable, because the democratic government is no more there. Secondly, Taliban choose to stay neutral on certain issues like Kashmir issue and all. So we have to give them a benefit of doubt, and we have to improve the relationship over a period of time with Taliban, so that it will complement our West Asia policy.
Okay. What is the term growth and development? How do you differentiate?
Okay, sir. So growth is a more quantitative concept. So when we normally talk that we are growing as a nation, so that means GDP is growing, okay, and we can have a positive growth and negative growth. But development is a qualitative concept where we are talking about inclusive growth, and we are talking about a growth which takes everybody along. So I think that is the basic difference, and we want to be a more of a developed nation, not like a Middle East country which is more developed. More, growth is very high, but they are lacking in development.
You told that you are choosing the students for your company. What is the major criteria you believe a student or candidate should have?
Okay, sir. So,
Did you get me?
So, yes, sir. So, if we are talking about the criteria, so in the past, like what we did is we normally looked for aptitude and attitude of the candidate. So, aptitude means technical, and we looked also for the soft skills. At the same time, we looked the attitude, so that means scalability, right attitude towards the job, because getting into a job means there should be a fit. I mean, the candidate can be very good, but if there is a fitment issue, we cannot take the candidate. So we checked like communication skills, analytical skills, and we checked the problem solving skills, and of course for technical people we have checked the IT skills also. So I think these things are critical for freshers. Leadership skills we do not check at the entry level. Maybe for experienced people we check also leadership skills and all.
Why you want to leave the job?
Okay. So sir, I always wanted to join civil services, but what happened is when I joined the job after my MBA, so I could not get time to prepare. Finally, I took a break and I prepared. Now I want to leave the job because it has been long since I have continued in the job, and there is hardly any differential amount of knowledge I am gaining. Civil services particularly I am interested because there are diverse set of responsibilities. Plus, when I started preparing civil services, in the journey itself I started liking the profile, because you learn about your country, your state, political atmosphere, history, geography. So in the journey, I started liking the entire the civil services preparation, as well as I hear from my seniors. In fact, many of my seniors and classmates, they have joined civil services. So I got inspired. It is not only one reason, so there are multiple reasons behind it.
what is the similarity? What are the similarity you feel you get in government sector like PSU and the private sector you are working upon? What is the criteria or characteristics you feel like there is similarity?
Um, there are some similarity in the sense one is like in private sector or government sector, in any organization for that matter, for growth, uh, you need to perform. So I think in civil services, I'm not sure about other jobs, you need to perform, and both are high pressure, highly demanding jobs. And it is the same in private, especially in the middle management level. Then in the and particularly in my job, I have worked in administration as a human resources officer. So here also it is administration. So these are the similarities, but probably the number of differences are more rather than similarities.
Okay, what is the meaning of psychology?
So, sir, psychology comes from two words. One is psychos and one is logos. So, psychos means about mind and anything related to mental condition. Logos means knowledge. So, these are Latin words, and psychology comes from these words.
What is your suggestion on unemployed people? Like you are already employed. There are many students who are unemployed. What will be your suggestion to them now?
Okay. Uh, okay. So, sir, I believe there is a lot of gap between what industry wants and what skills people have. So, there was a research done by McKinsey, and it says that it was done in 2019. It says that in India, only 16% people are employable. So, we need to increase the employability by enabling people, by teaching them soft skills other than technical skills, because soft skills are also very important whether in government or private. uh, and uh, and and I would like to say that you should have backup options. If you are preparing for civil services, that doesn't mean that you leave everything else. So you should have a plan B and plan C in place. And you should always look for different types of skills rather than sticking to one skill, so that you can fit anywhere and everywhere.
Do you know about Bhagavatism? Means Bhagavatism based on Bhagavad Gita.
Sorry, sir. What is it?
Bhagavad. Do you know about Bhagavatism? Means the idea that is
Bhagavad.
based upon the Vishnu.
Uh, are you talking about Bhagavad Gita related?
Like in history, there are many philosophy. One of the philosophy is Bhagavatism.
I am not sure, sir.
Bhagavatism is same as Vaishnavism.
Okay. So yeah, then that includes the Jagannath cult, then ISKCON, then the philosophy of me. I mean, there are a lot of philosophers like Kabir, Tukaram, Eknath, who worshipped Vishnu, and they spread the Bhagavatism
What
or
is the major
Vaishnavism.
idea? What was its characteristics?
Sir, the
How it
major
is
idea
different
is
from other?
okay. The major idea is by songs, by dance, euphoria, you can actually get closer to the God by, and you can picturize God as a person, and you can fall in love with the God, and by that you can get closer to the God. Uh,
Okay. my side. Sudeep sir, you can.
Yeah. So can you please repeat your name? That time I was not able to notice your name, note down your name, please. Can you tell me your name
Okay.
again?
Yeah, yes, sir. Myself, Biswa Bhusan.
Biswa Bhushan. Okay, Mr. Biswa Bhushan. My first question to you is, you're highly qualified. Okay, so IIT, IIM, you have the two most degrees that people envy for, dream degrees. So with
Yeah,
so
thank
much
you.
knowledge, why didn't you go for a startup? Because most of the IIMs, once they get their degree, they go for startups. A lot of IIM pass outs, they go for the startups. At the same time, you're also having an IIT degree. That means innovation is there in your blood. So why didn't you opt for a startup? I would like to know.
Okay. So, sir, I started with one of the top IT companies. So, as I said, I was hardly getting any time. Now, lot of things were in my mind. In between, I had thought of making a startup, but it didn't. I could not pull it off because of the highly demanding job. Uh, then this civil service thing was always in my mind. So parallelly, I used to study a little bit. So I could not materialize that startup plan. And at this juncture of life, I want to do civil services only because I think I have tried everything else because I have worked in a PSU, I have worked in a corporate. So and civil services I want to try. So I don't want to I don't want to be distracted and focus on something else. But that could have been a better option. I mean, good option rather.
So can I assume that you are afraid of taking risk? You always want to play safe. Can I assume that? Because you went for a PSU government job, then you went for a corporate job. Means it seems that you never tried taking risk, because going for a startup is a very risky affair. Not everybody can afford that. Finance you can arrange because you are having two big degrees, so automatically you can arrange finance. That is not a big issue. So I think I can sense a lack of risk taking ability here. So how you are going to justify that?
Sir, I would articulate it in a different way. Earlier, I always wanted to be associated with big brands. I mean, that was a personal choice that I would work in a branded company. Startups, of course, I didn't take a risk not because I didn't want to take a risk. I didn't take a risk because I was not settled so much, and because I had civil services plans. So that's why I didn't take a risk. Because to take a risk, also you should be stable in life. I mean, I could take a risk if I would have been stable. So that is my take. You know.
Okay. So you also said that you are interested in geopolitics as well. So what do you
Yes,
think?
sir.
What is the future of India-Russia relationship? So as you know, Russia is now getting closer to China day by day. So where do you see this relationship going, India-Russia relationship?
Okay, sir. So in geopolitics, there is a concept of realism. So realism says there are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, there are only permanent interests. Okay. So, sir, I want to say that it is because we have very smartly managed because over last 50 years, because we were a part of non-alignment movement, and at that time also we said that that non-alignment doesn't mean not inclining to anybody. It means multiple alignment. So I see we will continue with a good relationship with Russia because we have a lot of economic dependence. We are importing a lot of gas and oil from them. And even if China gets closer, we are also sharing certain platforms with China. Like in SCO, we are a part of, so China is there, we are also there. So you may see, I mean, I also see a future where even China and Russia and India become closer and become one power. in Asia, and they actually lead the Asian subcontinent because the West is now eyeing towards Asia, right? Because the unipolar world has now become multipolar world. So in the national interest, I think we should continue a very good relationship with Russia. At the same time, China is also one of the largest trading partners of us. So we should also balance with the rivalry and business with China as well.
And recently, you must have heard the news about US agreeing to upgrade the F-16 fighter jets of Pakistan. So US has agreed for the upgradation of F-16 fighter jets of Pakistan, and India is not too happy with this move. So why do you think US is doing this?
Sir, if you carefully, if we carefully observe how US manages things, so I believe it is purely on economic perspective. So Pakistan may be just a customer for US. Okay, so I don't think that will change the geopolitics because Pakistan, to some extent, is a breeding ground for terrorists, and US is totally against the radical terrorist organizations. So that dilemma with Pakistan will always be there. So US Pakistan, a completely flawless relationship might not work out at all.
Okay. And you also said that you are interested in psychology.
Yes, sir.
So there has been a debate going on since ages. People say that juvenile homes, they are not that useful. They rather create criminals rather than reforming them. The idea of a juvenile home is to reform criminals,
Yes.
isn't it? But it is said that instead of reforming, the condition of our juvenile homes are such that they rather create criminals.
Okay.
So what is your take on this? Do you think it is really effective?
Sir, so juvenile homes means you means prison, right? Juvenile
Yeah,
prison.
means when someone below, when a minor is accused of a criminal charge, then he is, instead of sending them to prison, they are sent to juvenile homes for reformation.
Okay.
Yeah. A minor can be punished for 3 years max, as you know, and they'll be sent to juvenile homes. They will not be sent to life imprisonment or rigorous imprisonment. They'll be sent for reformation. So does it really work, do you think? Or rather, in those 3 years, they get trained to become more hardened criminals?
Right, sir. Sir, it has both effects. In fact, any prison does not actually rehabilitate a person unless we create good conditions in a prison. So before going to juvenile homes, we have to work on our prisons, and we need to ensure that there are human rights and there is a good atmosphere in prison. There is a concept which we can apply to juvenile homes, and you are absolutely right saying that it will promote criminal behavior. So there are some prisons which are called open prisons. So there is a open prison in Maharashtra, and there is an open prison I think in Rajasthan. So people, so it is the responsibility is put on them. It is based on trust. So the people who are in the prison, they can walk out and they go around in the nearby places and they can come back in the night. So we can promote the open prisons. Secondly, we can have the psychologists or Samaritans who can help these people, and we can actually run a education inside the prison so that they can actually get a degree, or we have to do some online arrangement where they can get an online degree like IGNO and all. So this we can do, but certainly we cannot compromise with the justice system also, because somebody who has committed a crime, his part or her share of punishment he has to get.
Okay. So my last question, just answer briefly and justify as well. Do you support the idea of privatization? Now you can see some of the government sectors are being privatized. Okay. So do you
Okay.
support this idea, and what difference will it make? What is your reason? Whatever is your answer, please justify.
Okay. Sir, after all, we are a mixed economy, so we have never supported a completely capitalist or completely communist model. So I think we should not something like a railway. Railway sector should not be privatized because it gives a very subsidized tickets to the normal middle class or the lower middle class people. But some sectors can be privatized. For example, solar energy or the wind energy, it can be privatized because we can make some international partner, let it be France or Germany, and we can we can do the technology transfer. But organizations like railway, postal services, they need not be privatized because there is no new technology we want. And if we want to go for a bullet train or a hi-fi, high-end system, we can always import the technology rather than doing any collaboration. So we can selectively do privatization.
Okay, so that's it from my side. Now I would request Ankish sir to take over.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Biswa.
Hello, sir.
So I would like to ask you first, a question like, how do you see the political party system changing in India when we see it from the time of independence to now? If you have
Okay.
to give a take on it, how will you say it?
So, sir, it has been continuously changing because during the independence, there was a lot of contribution from Indian National Congress. So, for some time, there was a dominance of INC in the Indian politics. Other parties were there, but Congress was unilaterally winning the elections. After that, there was a time where Congress has to confront with other parties, and there were rise of regional parties like Dravid Munneru Kazakam. Okay, so but Congress was still in a majority. Slowly, what happened is, and there was a rise of BJP also, but they were able to get few votes. Okay, few seats in the parliament. After that, Congress party, what happened is people started looking for other options. So there were rise of regional parties like Trunmul Congress, there is a Shiv Sena, okay, and there is the BJD. So there was a coalition government concept. So in the coalition government, what was happening? Congress was making coalition to come into power. Then in 2000, first time, majority with majority BJP came, but it again majority could not be proved. Till 2014, the coalition government system continued, and now Congress is at the verge of. There are some political scientists who say that it is at the verge of extinction, and it is a full majority for BJP. There is also a rise of AAP because of the anti-corruption movement by Anna Hazare and Arvind Kejriwal. If we see now, it is very, the politics is very interest oriented rather than ideology oriented, because political parties are not going for ideology. So BJP is only, people say that BJP is a washing machine, and there is a Congress, Congress Bharat Jodo Jatra, and people are saying they should, in fact, work for their party itself. So it is continuously changing, and you never know how it will evolve over a period of time.
Okay. Being from HR background and all, so what is the difference between code of conduct and code of ethics?
Okay. So, sir, the code of ethics is something which has, which is a guideline rather, which is not legally valid. But a code of conduct is something which has a legal power. Like if it is there, so if it is applicable to a particular agency or institute or person, they have to abide by it. Code of ethics is mostly influenced by moral principles, but code of conduct is influenced by moral principles, but that is a legally accepted or that is a drafted law. I think that is the basic difference. Like model code of conduct in elections, so you have to go by all those points, but code of ethics is not a justiciable thing.
Okay. Okay. Just last question. Like being quite interested in like political things and all. How do you see the relevance of SCO and how is it different from BRICS?
Okay. So, sir, first of all, SEO. Yes. Okay, I'll take 10 seconds. Okay. So in SEO, there is a good presence of Central Asian countries. In BRICS, there is there are no Central Asian countries involved other than Russia. That is one difference. Then the SEO is dominated by mostly Russia and China, but BRICS is more democratic in the sense all the nations are more or less equally powerful, like Brazil, Russia, China, India, and BRICS. So SCO is more economical alliance, and BRICS takes care of everything. It is an intercontinental kind of alliance, and SCO is more centralized to Asia, and BRICS is across continents.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it from my side.
Okay. Biswa, my view on your interview is like you have overall good reasoning ability as well as good knowledge. Are you listening to me? Like, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
You have good reasoning ability as well as good knowledge, but sometimes the major mistake you make, you explain much. If it is not needed, like
Okay.
if the interview board doesn't ask, you don't need to explain. Whenever you explain, so like the interview board may not get time to ask any new question, so you may get less marks in that like perspective. Second question,
Okay.
second mistake I find, whenever you are saying Odisha, you mention like you just tell like Odisha. It is you are telling Orissa. So it may be look awkward for them because it has been amended. You are being a political science background. You need to mention the proper word also. It is my suggestion. Like you are good, but you need to work upon the. I haven't asked any question from psychology. Just I mentioned like your overall idea. You have good reasoning ability as well as knowledge. You can put like if you are like starting a preparation. I know you are busy. So what you can do is that in common question you can write 2-3 major points. So suddenly you can come to the point. So you can be pinpointed rather than explanatory. So if you kept give the interview board more ask more, they will give more chances. They can give you more score as well. So I'll be scoring you like
Okay.
45 out of 60.
Sure, sir. So I will work on it.
Yes, Sudeep sir.
So what do you suggest, sir? Like what should be a typical length of?
I'll be suggesting personally because now another
Okay.
candidate are there. So these are the
Okay.
Okay. So my observation would be, see, first I'll talk about the positives. Your communication skill is excellent, no doubt about it. Presentation skill is very good. Your dressing sense is very good. Okay, you're well prepared. It seems that you have worked hard and you have prepared whatever schedule you have. You might be very busy, but still, I think you are prepared. And yes, negative point is there. I'll come to that. And
Okay.
then, okay. And now talking about negative, I think your sitting posture was wrong. Okay, don't lean forward while answering. Okay, sit straight. Yeah, even if it is an
Okay.
online interview, this is a demo mock interview, but still you have to take it like this is your final interview. Okay, so you have to sit straight.
Sir,
Don't
actually,
lean
I'm
forward.
sitting on a bed, so okay, okay.
Okay, whatever the reason is, I just told you my observation. I told you. Okay, next is
Okay.
sometimes, as Niranjan sir said, your answers are sometimes too lengthy. You're explaining too much sometimes, and you're using a filler like very often.
Yeah, yeah. So
So avoid that. Okay, it's noticeable, and
that
it's
that
okay
is
in
actually, sir,
corporate,
I
but
don't intend to. I mean, it comes as a
yeah, it
habit,
comes
so I have to
naturally.
do it
But try to, if
naturally.
you can do it, it comes actually. It is very noticeable.
Okay,
Okay, after
okay,
a certain point of time, it is noticeable. If it is not noticeable, it's fine. But when it comes to the notice of the interviewer, that is kind of irritating.
okay,
Next,
okay, sir.
yeah. So try to work on that. And one word you said about that juvenile home, you said rehabilitation. Actually, the word should have been reformation. Both are different. Rehabilitation is different and reformation is different. So juvenile home is for reformation, and
Okay,
so juvenile home answer was not convincing. Other answers were good. Only two answers didn't convince me. One is the juvenile home answer. Okay,
okay,
I
sir.
think you didn't have much idea about juvenile homes, right? It was a quite
I need
surprise
to
for
read
you.
about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
fine,
sir.
that's fine. And another one, I think that Pakistan and US, you missed a very important point. You said that US is interested in the economics. See, Pakistan cannot give much economic benefits to USA. It is too small a country to give economic benefits to USA. The reason
Okay.
you missed out on this is historically US has always used Pakistan as a tool to contain India. So now we see that US
Yes.
is getting so friendly with us because economically we are developing. Our clout is getting bigger day by day in the world stage. But traditionally, you must have noticed historically, US has always been anti-India. It has always tried to stop India's growth, and it has always used
Yes, yes.
Pakistan as a tool. And same thing China does. So that answer you missed. That Pakistan is used as a tool to contain India. So it was a major point you missed, I think. Okay, being a geopolitical
Sure.
enthusiast. Yeah. So other things are good. Okay, as I said, that's it. From my side, I would give you 100 out of 120.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anish sir,
Okay.
Ankit sir.
Yes, Biswa, you like in terms of answering personality and all, like good question. Like I will tell you, so in terms of like answering the questions, like political party system that I asked, better you could have framed it in terms of phases. So your answer could have been like very formative because it sounded like very like okay, you're going somewhere and then coming back. Okay, BJP also rised. Okay, this also came back. So kind of like very messed up answer it was like sounding. So better phase it up. Like you were taking time,
Yes.
so take the time to channelize your answer. What I will say, and about SEO and bricks, right? Read a bit about it. I guess
Okay.
that is something like recently it's happening also. So read it because I found no, SEO is not a financial okay. And yes, code of conduct, code of ethics. You were out of track on that answer. So better sort of frame it. Try to frame it. These are like because you are from HR, these questions are. I think like they might ask you all this. Basic there in these terms. So yes, rest on like yeah, you are spot on. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
I'll give you out of 70. After 70, out of 70, I'll give them 50.
Okay, so
Uh,
your total you secured 195. Okay.
okay, sir. Okay.
One
Thank you,
suggestion:
sir.
do you watch World Affairs, the YouTube channel by
Sir,
Prashant Dhawan sir?
sir, actually, yeah, I should watch. Actually, my preparation is impacted because of mains examination. I
Now do
directly
watch it
came from the
whenever.
center and
No,
yeah.
that's fine. But world affairs, you don't need to put much effort. Whenever suppose you wake up and you're brushing your teeth, just so just watch a video. Just hear, listen. You can use
Okay.
you listen like a podcast. Okay. Prashant Dhawan, sir, World Affairs.